Hello, welcome to the Frost Sports Podcast, and I am your host, Frost Raptor 30, and okay, I'm just gonna get into this episode. This is not going to be a part of any series, season, Patriot, anything. This is kind of a spin-off episode. There's not really going to be too much to this. This has been a video I didn't want to make early on. It was I think it was in October or so. I thought comeback player of the year award was out there because there's Baker Mayfield was playing good, obviously, and there were a couple other players. And I was like, okay, let's just see. And Damar Hamlin was the favorite by a lot. And I was a bit shocked. I think at that point, and he played one football game, and he did not necessarily play really well in that game. I think he had one tackle and a holding penalty or something, and he has not played since, or maybe one more down. And this episode I want to preface, before I get into it, I do not have any ill will towards Damar Hamlin or any issue of what has happened. I felt really bad. I really was keeping track of him, and I'm glad he's doing okay. I totally have no ill will towards the person himself. I have no ill will towards anyone who likes Damar Hamlin, and I know people will say, well, you're a Patriots fan and he's a Bills player, so you hate him. No, that's not the case. I've said it before. I don't. That's not me. Now, obviously, I do not. There's some Bills players I don't like, but I'll be completely honest with people too. I have no ill will towards Damar Hamlin, but I just wanted to get that out of the way because I'm sorry. I'm ticked off. Every single time I see Damar Hamlin should be the comeback player of the year, makes me just insane. Because if you say he isn't, you're a bad guy. You're a horrible person. You need to go to prison, whatever. It's like, guys, this is where I hate social media and absolutely hate people and cancel culture and all that. Is because, guys, he does not deserve to be comeback player of the year. I'm sorry, he doesn't. I've said it probably at least maybe once before on this podcast. The only way he deserves comeback player of the year is if he had half the season that Eric Berry, who had cancer, and I'm pretty sure took a year or two off from football, came back, made the Pro Bowl, and played like an All-Pro. That is what my standard is. If he played 50% of that, I would still give it to him. He has played bad. I think you have to admit he's played bad. And again, I understand why. I'm not saying how dare he, why isn't he playing well? He wasn't that great to begin with. And again, the media is just shoving up Damar Hamlin. You have to take statistics into it. You have to take play into it. Geno Smith won it last year, and he had one of the greatest completion seasons ever. Like, he had, I think, around a 68 or 75% completion rate. It was insane. He was incredible last year with a team that was considered rebuilding. Damar Hamlin has not done even an ounce of that. And again, I get the whole, well, he almost died. That, okay, but you have to play at least good enough. There is a standard of play where you need to win it to be good enough. If they want to do a comeback player of the year award, they did co-MVPs one year, I'm not against that. If they want to name it the Hamlin Award, I am completely cool with that. He does not deserve it because Joe Flacco and Baker Mayfield have lit it up, and they deserve it. I mean, Baker's probably going to finish with, 30 TDs? Maybe one more interception? I mean, he's looked on fire. And Baker is keeping Tampa's, entire from rebuild to still can contend. He's the main reason why that team is not in shambles. And people are like, well, it's just those guys, right? No, I think Brock Purdy deserves it. I mean, yeah, I know he got MVP considerations, but that dude's coming off a horrible injury. I think he needs to get some recognition. Chase Young coming off of a horrible injury himself, should also deserve some recognition for what he's done. Tony Pollard has not played well. I want to make that very clear. I think he deserves it over Damar Hamlin because he's played well enough. He's gotten snaps enough to where I think he deserves it. And I'm just sick of everyone saying Damar Hamlin deserves it purely because of the tragedy and he's back to playing football. I'm sorry, he has not played football. He's played like 5 snaps. And I know that I can tell you this. I'm a Joe Schmo. I could probably play 5 snaps. I wouldn't be good 5 snaps, and it's definitely not the 5 snaps he played would be as good or as bad. But guys, and I know I keep saying guys because it just frustrates me so much that Damar Hamlin should not be it. I'm sorry. He should not be Comeback Player of the Year award just because he's sitting on the bench. He has not played all year. I understand it. I am not against it. I know I felt like coming into this season, this was kind of like his, do I want to keep playing or not? Let's see. I don't know. He might be retired. And I'll put it to you this way. If he wins Comeback Player of the Year award, he's probably going to be the first player to be out of the league next year. Because the media didn't want to ever say this. He was about to be cut in the offseason, but the media never wanted to do that. And Damar Hamlin has thanked and it sucks, because I said, with how many injuries are to the Bills secondary, this would probably been a year where Damar Hamlin actually could have shown something. But unfortunately, with the event that happened last year, he wasn't going to be the answer. This year, no, you can't depend on him with what he went through last year. And it just frustrates me because people still think it's a participation trophy. It is not. If they give it to Hamlin, they gave it to Hamlin. Hamlin did not earn it. I'm sorry, he did not earn it. Because you have to be good enough. He is nowhere near good enough to win it, to have a good story, to whatever. If they want to, like I said, co-winners, fine. But if you do anything else other than co-winners or gave Hamlin the name, I want it done. That dude is not that guy. I said before the season started, because everyone said, oh, it's Hamlin, he has to have an Eric Berry season. And if he doesn't, or even 50% of that, then I don't want to hear him in the conversation. Because nobody cares. I'll put it to you this way. Has anyone thought of Damar Hamlin in the past 5 weeks? Genuinely thought of Damar Hamlin. The media has not talked to him about it at all. It was the one start he made where the buzz came back a little, and after that start, went away. So everyone has their own opinion, and that's fine. And I know there's going to be people who are like, oh, cancel this guy because he doesn't like Damar Hamlin's story. It's not that. It's that he's not playing good. This is not our participation trophy. This is a award that is given to a player who has earned it. He has not earned it at all. I do not want to hear a single person say he deserves it hands down. There's no debate. There is a debate. I honestly would keep him at like 6th. Oh, and again, there's probably more players that deserve it. I think you could make a case that like Jabril Peppers on the Patriots. He's played really well this season. He's coming off of an ACL tear. He looks really good. No one's going to give it to him. Even though I think he deserves it more than Damar Hamlin. But yeah, I wanted to kind of keep this video pretty short. Like I said, it's just kind of going to keep a simple title. This has just been something that has been on my mind recently, and kind of been bugging me because I just keep seeing it, as we get closer to the awards, it's just Damar Hamlin should win it, Damar Hamlin should win it, Damar Hamlin should win it, and I'm just like, can we just stop? Because he shouldn't. I mean, statistically, he shouldn't. Story-wise, I'm going to be honest, he shouldn't, because it's not like he went back on the field. He took 5 snaps at the most. I think you need to take at the minimum of like 50 snaps and then, sure, fine, whatever. But he hasn't, and for that reason, I don't think he should be Comeback Player of the Year. But let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. I know this episode's a bit more aggressive, I guess you would say, because it's just, this has been bugging me for a while. But that's all. See y'all later, and stay frosty.